Hello and welcome to GreenBiz Studio. I'm Dylan Siegler and I lead corporate sustainability at GreenBiz. I'm here with Robyn Luhning, Chief Sustainability Officer at Wells Fargo. Welcome to the studio, Robyn.
Thanks, Dylan. I'm so glad to be here.
So you are nearly a year into your new role as head of sustainability at Wells Fargo. How's it going? What have you been working on?
Well, that's a great question. I'm new in my role at Wells Fargo, but I've actually been at Wells Fargo for 11 years. So the Chief Sustainability Officer role is new. But what I can really say is while the role is new, sustainability at Wells Fargo is not new. Over time, as it's become across the industry, it's become much more defined, more transparent, and much clearer in its purpose over time. So what we've been doing over the past years, we have sustainability goals, which I'll be happy to talk to you about. And we've really been spending time figuring out how do we get from the what we're going to do in our goals and how are we actually going to implement them? What are the areas where we can have the greatest impact?
That's great. So you're getting into the how, which I think is a good place to play, especially since I guess it's an understatement to say that financial institutions are a linchpin in global sustainability efforts, particularly around sustainable finance. And I know that Wells Fargo has committed to some ambitious goals around sustainable finance, but also around net zero and in other areas. Can you tell me a bit about those?
Yeah, we have some really ambitious goals. So we've committed to deploying $500 billion, and that's billion with a B, in sustainable financing by 2030. Also establishing the Institute for Sustainable Finance, where we will support and share progress of our sustainability efforts. We've done that, and I invite all of you to visit our online portal to the Institute's activities. As you said, we have a goal to achieve net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050, including our financed emissions. And another goal of ours is to integrate climate considerations into our risk management framework and decision making.
That's great. I want to just jump back to that $500 billion in sustainable finance funds. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah. Well, first, I want to point out the size and scope that Wells Fargo brings to the table. We serve 1 in 3 U.S. households. We serve more than 10% of small businesses across the country and corporate clients globally. So it's just an incredibly tremendous opportunity. As a bank, deploying sustainable financing can make a powerful business case internally. People are really excited about this, and it can also help our customers meet their own sustainability goals. In 2021, the first year we really started tracking our sustainable finance, we deployed about $68 billion, so 14% of our $500 billion goal. And the way that we're defining sustainable finance is it's products and services that are related to things like renewable energy, energy storage, energy efficiency, but also social development and resiliency. So we're looking at it from a holistic view, not just an environmental lens. Another thing I really want to share is that Wells Fargo, and this is a surprise to many, is a major financier of clean energy, and we've provided more than $14 billion in tax equity investing to renewable energy projects across the U.S. We've also launched 2 inclusive communities and climate bonds. The first one was in 2021. It was a $1 billion sustainability bond that supported housing affordability, socioeconomic opportunity, as well as renewable energy. We did issued another bond in 2022, which was a $2 billion bond, so doubling that first one, funding the same activities. And we also added funding for efforts to support electric vehicle financing. A really cool and differentiating piece of that bond offering is that we included 24 diverse firms across all tiers of the transactions underwriting. So really trying to integrate sustainability across not only the product that we were offering, but the way that we were offering it. These examples show you how many of our different lines of businesses are engaged in sustainability. It's not just a central sustainability team that's making all of this happen at Wells Fargo. I think there's so much opportunity in the future for Wells Fargo to support our customers and communities in their transition to a resilient, equitable, and sustainable future.
You talked a little bit about how that funding in sustainable finance will be a part of that responsibility that Wells Fargo has to address social issues, or the S in ESG. And as you said, Wells Fargo serves 1 in 3 households in the US. I'm curious, can you talk a little bit about your philanthropic giving and how Wells Fargo's community impact fits into the larger picture?
Absolutely. We look at sustainability really inclusively. So both the impact our business can have and also the impact we can have through philanthropy. So in our philanthropy, we support financial health, housing affordability, small business growth, and sustainability efforts. And we augment our business unit work with philanthropic giving. So this brings the benefits of our sustainable finance approach to historically underrepresented communities. In 2022, Wells Fargo made around $300 million in donations to support these focus areas that I shared earlier. And we actually deployed more than $15 million in climate aligned philanthropy through the Wells Fargo Foundation last year. In one example of our philanthropic giving spanning both housing affordability and sustainability, Chicago nonprofit Elevate is actually decarbonizing 100 homes for low and moderate income residents. And the really cool thing is they're also building the capacity and expertise of 24 contractors of color to participate in the green economy, all enabled by a $3.15 million Wells Fargo grant.
Thank you so much, Robyn, for joining us and for telling us a bit about what you're doing at Wells Fargo. You just heard from Robyn Luhning, Chief Sustainability Officer at Wells Fargo. Join us again on GreenBiz Studio.